Hi guys, it's Mark Zickery, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zickery of Space Command. And what I'm going to do right now is give you an update as to everything that's going on with Space Command. You know that we have a Kickstarter campaign going, Space Command Redemption. Right now it's over $60,000, but I really want to top $100,000 because we really need money for visual effects and post-production. We'll be announcing some new perks, great ones, very, very shortly. Additionally, we're still selling investment shares in Space Command, $7,500 a share. Many of our investors buy more than one share, sometimes significantly more than one. And once the show sells, you'll get a percentage of my producer's net profits from the first 4 hours of Space Command, which we've already shot 1 hour and 40, no, it was 2 hours and 40 minutes of those 4 hours. So we're going to shoot the rest of it. It's looking like December, but we'll see how that goes. So I just want to tell you what's been going on. There's been a lot going on. Now, also, in this update, we're going to have it in video, and also we're going to type it up with photos and have links to videos, because some people like to watch videos, some people like to read text, some people like to do both. If you're watching this on Mr. Sci-Fi and you want to read the update, you can go to my Facebook page or the Space Command Series website, spacecommandseries.com, or just email me and say, where's that update? I'd like to read it. We'll do that. And by the way, if you want to buy shares, it's markzickery@gmail.com or 323-363-1259. I'm happy to send you the documentation and answer any questions. It's a great way to help move this along. Additionally, we've screened the first half hour at Comic-Con. We're going to be screening it at the World Science Fiction Convention next week, and we're going to be premiering the hour at the Drama Summit in London in November. So we've sent the first half hour to our backers and to our investors, and in the next few weeks we're going to put it out wide, so we're building a social media team so that we can get hundreds of thousands or millions of hits, which would be persuasive to a network or a platform, a buyer. And the reason for that, of course, is that the whole reason for me doing it this way rather than going initially to a network or a platform was I didn't want them cutting me off at script or at pilot or screwing it up with their notes. But now anyone who buys it, they watch it, they have to love it, and if they love it, then I can say, well, this is where it's going, and hopefully have carte blanche, and to create a hopeful vision of the future, which is what we've all signed on for with Space Command. Now I could theoretically finance it entirely through crowdfunding and selling investment shares, the entire series, and that may be down the pike what we do with a number of shows, but the advantage of a network or platform is they give you all the money to make a season or more, and they also put in the promotional dollars as well. So it just speeds things up, because Space Command has been taking a while, but I'm very pleased with the quality. We have Tobias Richter in Germany redoing our opening sequence, which we wanted to take another run at, and I was just editing with Dave Edison yesterday and Elaine, and we tweaked a little bit of the opening and a little bit of the ending of the first half hour, and I'm really pleased with it now. And we're just continuing on, we're meeting with our visual effects team and moving forward into the second half hour to do all the visual effects in that, and then onward to hour 2. And at the same time, we're ramping up to shoot the rest of the second 2-hour story, Forgiveness. And we've got a terrific interior design for the alien hibernation ship. We have an exterior already rendered in 3D of that ship. It's really cool. And there was at my roundtable last week, the roundtable I run for writers, directors, actors, producers, editors, composers, etc. Several thousand members. We meet each week in the Valley at a restaurant. Someone showed up who is a production designer who has worked on some of the Star Wars films and also the Matrix films, and she went to the Star Trek convention, and we sat down over lunch, and she said, I want to help you guys. And so she is. And beyond that, it's funny, because the last couple of weeks I've been at both this San Diego Comic-Con, where we had a booth, and the big Star Trek convention in San Diego, and next week, as I say, I go to the World Science Fiction Convention. And this is deliberate. Back in January, I laid out the entire year, and for me, balancing on Space Command is between doing the work, which is primary, of course, and vital, raising the money, getting out the word, and pitching the show. So it's 4 separate tasks, and they're very different from each other in many ways. So this part of the year it was going to conventions, spreading the word, getting the writers, the fans, the viewers to know about this project if they haven't heard about it. So with Comic-Con, we had a great screening. Mike Harney from Orange is the New Black and the upcoming Project Blue Book, and Lady Gaga's Star is Born that's coming down the pike. He doesn't go to conventions, but he came down just for our panel and the photo shoot with the Hollywood Reporter / Getty Images that followed. He was terrific. And then Doug Jones hadn't been able to come to our panel because he was stumping for Star Trek Discovery that full day. They had filled up his dance card, but the next day he was kind enough to come to our booth and do a signing and give people hugs all around. He's a wonderful man. And Gigi Edgley announced at the convention, as did I, that Gigi Edgley of Farscape, she announced that she's going to be in Space Command, and Nichelle Nichols was signing at our booth, and I've now written a scene for her for Space Command, so we're in conversation with her and her team, and I think that would be great because I've known her since I was 10, and Star Trek was on the air. So it's been phenomenal. So we had a great time at Comic-Con, and then they flew me out to the Las Vegas Star Trek convention because they were screening Far Beyond the Stars, the Deep Space Nine episode I came up with, and that was, again, just phenomenal. I actually went early, several days early to the convention. They were giving me a table, so I was selling copies of The Twilight Zone Companion and signing photos of myself on the set of Deep Space Nine and talking to people. And some people knew me from Mr. Sci-Fi, some from my TV credits, some from The Twilight Zone Companion. It was really fun. Some even from Coast to Coast, which is the radio show I guest on periodically. And I really loved talking to people from all around the world, and they were very friendly and very warm and very enthusiastic. I was giving out free Space Command posters and little postcards with information about it, and people were just really thrilled at the cast I had, at the vision of the show. And meantime, another reason I went to the Star Trek convention was to talk to more of the actors, some of whom I knew and some of whom I was just meeting at that convention. It was really phenomenal. They screened Far Beyond the Stars to an audience of many thousands, and we were backstage watching it on a monitor, and it was the cast of Star Trek Discovery and the cast of Deep Space Nine, and everyone was just watching it totally spellbound. They were just amazed by how current it still was. It has, a young black man shot by the cops, by racist cops, and it was speaking so much to the current day, and just phenomenal. And so because normally in the green room people are talking, there's a hustle bustle, no one's paying attention to what's on the monitors. This was not the case here. I got to talk to the stars of Discovery. I got to reunite with Anthony Rapp, who I wrote a lead guest role for on Lazarus Man 20 years ago, a Western I was a producer on. And so we're talking further. He gave me his contact info, so we'll see if we can get him aboard Space Command. He's on Star Trek Discovery now. And I talked to Shinoka Green, whatever her name is. I can never get it right. Sonequa Michael Green, she plays Michael on Star Trek Discovery. And very nice person, and really moved by Far Beyond the Stars. And then we did a panel on Far Beyond the Stars with Ira Bear, the executive producer of that show, and the entire cast except for Avery Brooks. And so Armin Shimmerman and Renee Aubergenois and Nana Visitor and on were there. It was terrific to reunite with them. And I was talking to a lot of people about being in Space Command. Now Armin Shimmerman is going to be in Space Command. I've written a role for him. Ethan Phillips is going to be in Space Command. He played Neelix on Star Trek Discovery. Armin, of course, played Quark on Deep Space Nine and the Principal on Buffy. And of course, Robert Picardo, who's in Space Command, is now in the Orville, which is cool. But I also talked to Brent Spiner, and Gates McFadden, and on, Riker, Worf, Michael Dorn and Jonathan Frakes. And, I was basically talking to them about being in Space Command. So I'm going to take them each to lunch individually in the weeks to come, and we'll discuss this further, because they're wonderful actors, and I think they could really contribute. And also, I was talking to some of the new Star Trek Discovery cast. There's an actress that I found very, very charming, and she's on the bridge. She's one of the bridge crew on the Star Trek Discovery, and so we're going to follow up as well. And so it just continues. So meantime, let's see. I'm looking at my little list here, see if there's other things to mention. It was just quite wonderful to finally be showing the first half hour of the Space Command pilot, because I'm very proud of it. Now people can see what I've been talking about all this time. So that's really it for now. The rest of the update will have photos, and we've got Amazing stuff coming. You'll love it. And if you buy shares in Space Command, pledge to Space Command, or go on the Patreon page for Mark Zickery and pledge a monthly amount, it all helps move everything forward. The money's going into Space Command. I'm not drawing a salary from Space Command, as many of you know. Neither is Elaine. And but we're just thrilled to be doing this wonderful project. And Rene Aubergenois also, I have a role for him in mind on Space Command as well. So, and of course Christina Moses, my dear friend from Star Trek New Voyages. She's starring in a million little things on ABC, just was playing a werewolf on the originals, and I've written a role for her as well. So that's it. Talk to you again really soon, and again, thanks for everything. Bye-bye.